Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Dark House. Today we're going to be doing the Diablo effect from Suicide Squad. Something like this. Alright, on this effect I did use Trapcode Particular and Trapcode Mirror, however they are not required 100%. So with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna start by creating a new composition. Let's make this 10 seconds. I'm gonna be working in half rest for now. First of all, I'm gonna bring in a background that I'm gonna use. Just this background, it's pretty big, but I'm gonna keep it around that size. And also the subject, which I have previously keyed out. Okay, so this is what we have right now. The subject, all it has is a key light to bring out, well, has an exposure and also has a key light to cut out the grain. Alright, so let's turn off the exposure for now. So here we have it. Let's actually make this comp a little bit shorter in my case. Okay, so here I have two markers that I previously used when I originally made the composition. Basically, I just use these markers to tell me where I want to end and start the effect of the fire. So that's all those are. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, let's work on our background a little bit. And we want to apply a fast blur. And let's put this around 10. Okay. Let's turn this off. So we also let's add exposure to it. And let's bring it down. 4 or something. Alright, that looks okay. We're gonna leave that as stuff. I'm just gonna copy the exposure, paste it in my subject. It's a negative exposure, but I want to bring this one. I want to bring it, let's say -5. Let's see how that looks. Alright, that looks somewhat okay for now. We can always continue working on it in a little bit. Okay. Oh, let's do this now. I'm gonna press Control Alt Y to create a new adjustment layer. One recommendation, guys, try to learn as much shortcuts as possible, and not only on this software. I mean, I use it in all my softwares, from Maya, Mari, Motion Builder, you name it. Photoshop a lot. I try to use as many shortcuts as possible. Just makes your workflow a lot faster. So just a tip. So I'm gonna, on this adjustment layer, I'm gonna add an exposure. I'm gonna bring it out around 60. 0.60, I mean. I'm also gonna add a curves effect. And want to make this a little yellowish, so about that. Just gonna bring the blues in. Okay, now I'm gonna duplicate this. Well, first of all, I'm gonna start using these markers. So I'm gonna press T on my keyboard to bring out the opacity, set up a keyframe, and then bring it down to 0. So this is where the effect is gonna start, okay? Now another keyframe. This is where the effect is. So we'll come back to that. I'm going to duplicate this layer, put it above my subject. So we have another exposure, but this one is going to be on top of the subject. So it's higher. I'm also going to make a mask. Okay, basically this is the light that the fire is gonna emit. And I'm gonna bring this to, let's say, 100 pixels. That looks about right. Alright, so now, since this is gonna be feather mask, I need to animate it. So I'm gonna set up a keyframe in the mask path where the animation starts, and then go to the last keyframe and adjust the mask. Okay. I think I want to bring the exposure up a bit. Yeah, I think that looks about right. And let's change this to add. Okay. I'm also, let's just make a mask in this background adjustment layer, because since the light is gonna be emitting from the hand, then it should have some fall off from the rest of the background. So let's go to the feathers and let's make it 200 pixels. And that's fine. Okay. Now it's time to make the fire. So here I have a pre-composition of girl, and she basically just, all she does is she walks around and she's sort of dancing, I guess. Okay. So I'm gonna pre-compose this. I'm gonna call this fire. Attributes, but it's just well done. Okay, so now it's time to get onto the fire. So press Ctrl Y. Let's make a new layer. Let's call this fractal. Okay. So I'm gonna add a fractal noise. All right. I think we're gonna go for a dynamic. Set this to, we're gonna set contrast to around 192, brightness to -45. Let's go with dynamic twist. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so basically these are the settings that we're gonna leave for now, and we are going to animate our evolution. No. Press Alt on the stopwatch. Let's type in an expression. Time times 500. Basically what that's going to do is just going to animate the fractal, the evolution of the fractal. And I'm also going to go to my first frame and add a keyframe to the offset. And I'm going to go in the Y direction, -2000. That way it seems like it's going up. Okay, yeah, that looks somewhat about right. Okay. Now, hue and saturation to this. Colorize it. Make this somewhat of a, like that, like it's yellowish, orangish. Okay, so this girl layer, what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to make it an alpha matte for my fractal. So now I have the shape of the woman, and it seems like it's the flames, but we can still see the lines and whatnot. So that's not exactly what we want. That's not the look we're going after. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to apply a matte choker to this element, and the 25, yeah, 30 here, the softness. Okay. Alright, so what we want is we want to feather out the edges from the subject. We don't want it to look completely like woman, or the shape. We don't want it rough edge, we want it like soft edge. And I mean, we can always bump this up if you guys want to exaggerate, but at that point we sort of lose the shape. So we do want to keep the shape, but we just want to feather out somewhat outside. Okay, after that, I'm gonna add a turbulent displacement to the same layer, this alpha. Okay, that looks pretty funny. Turbulent displacement, we are going to add a size. Let's keep it at 50, and the amount 50, size 70. That's fine. Okay. Same thing. Pretty much all the elements that we're gonna create on this pre-comp, we want to make them look like they're rising up. And excuse my dogs. Well, they're not my dogs. They're the neighbor's dogs. Okay, but you can follow up with my screen. And again, let's do negative 2000. Or maybe negative 1000. I think it's gonna be. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. You see how it's. But we don't really get to see it, but if you pay attention, you see the waves of the turbulent displacement. And now we're also going to set up an expression on the evolution, so time times 100 as well. We're going to keep it like that. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to delete the top one. I'm going to duplicate this one more time. And I'm going to press Ctrl Y to make a new layer. And I'll call it mirror. Now here, I'm going to come in and get traffic code mirror. Apply it. Okay. So for the geometry, we want to bring this up. Position, I'm sorry. No. Size. So here it is. Size. We want to bring this up. That looks about right. Okay. Now let's bring up vertices a little higher. Go to 280, something around that. And okay. Fine. Let's just try to play with these settings. I don't even remember how to get to that exact setting anymore. I'm going to do it around 40 with the amplitude frequency. as well, around 3 something. Yeah, that looks okay. Okay. All right. So now, what we want to go to the offset, first frame, offset and Y. Okay. Last frame, and we want to bring this down. Let's try -2000 as well. Okay. That looks okay. Have an evolution? Yes, we do. So let's have in an expression time times 100 as well. How does that work? That looks somewhat okay. All right, so now what we're gonna do is alpha mat as well. And now we have that. So, but let's make a few changes to this top alpha. The matte choker, let's actually bring this higher. And let's see how high. I think, oh, that should be around right for now. Okay, let's make a few more changes here. To the shader, let's change it to normal. We just want to see the most lines, I guess. And we're just gonna change the color to turn it off now, like a yellowish there. Wait. Color now. Actually, not the shader. It's the material. I want to change the material to yellow. That looks okay. Alright, so far we have this. Okay, so that looks not too bad, not too. We can still work on the fractal and whatnot. Okay, so I want to bring down the opacity a little bit. You can play with this all day. That's okay. 79 opacity. Alright, now I'm gonna duplicate this one more time. Oh, you know what, first I'm gonna duplicate the fractal, bring it all the way to the top, turn it off. I'm just gonna do a quick mask. Something like this. Okay, I wanna do like a little type of flame, right? Feather it out. Let's do 50 pixels. Alright, but I want to change these settings. Let's see, something like that. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna come to my first frame, grab this layer, and I'm just gonna change the blending mode to screen. That's fine. Okay. So the position, first frame, last frame, go in between. Alright. This is basically just give it that extra flamey-ish look. I mean, if we're not happy, we could always just change the mask. Okay, here we do have an issue. Mask is not following. Sorry, this issue is not following accordingly. There. Fine. Okay. You know what? I could always this out. One more. Alright, so that's okay for now. I'm gonna duplicate this girl layer one more time. Make it a 3D layer. Now I'm gonna press Control Y one more time, and I'm gonna name this particles. Then I'm gonna look for a particular. Apply particular. And let's do 500 particles per second. Velocity, let's bring it down to 50. Velocity around 100.
Another love I would abuse. Now circumstances could excuse.
Now the emitter type layer. Where's the? Happened to that emitter? No.
In the shape of things to come. Too much poison to come undone.
Fractal. Screen.
Every me and every you. Every me
Still
and
single track.
you.
No, I need this layer to be a 3D layer, so particular recognize it, and layer like layer emitter is going to be. Oh, let's change the name. I'm gonna call it emitter. Particle. Search. Select emitter. Fill. Go to none. Because we wanna. If you set this to RGB, it's gonna sample the same colors from your original layer. So we don't want that. What I want to do is I want to come to the particle itself and make it a yellowish color. Size, I want to do 2. Then size random, I want to bring it up. Okay, life is fine at 3. Now let's go to physics. Gravity. Okay. And here, spin out. Let's okay. Like around 50. Alright. Enter. Capacity over life. Let's do this. Alright. Capacity, size over life. Maybe let's just keep it like that. Okay, and we could always smooth this out. All right. Okay. So we're done with our fire. So here we have our fire layer. Let's change that to add. Yeah, that is fine. And let's make this layer around that. Come here. Now I'm gonna add a glow. That fire effect. Okay. Yeah. Fire. Glow intensity 5. opacity. I'm gonna animate it as well. Okay. I'll bring down the opacity. Alright. I'll bring down the opacity around 75. Yeah, around 50. Okay. Alright, so now we just have light. Now it's time to start creating the effect. Right. So I'm gonna alt click on the exposure. I'm gonna type in wiggle bracket. Let's put 10 on 1. Let's bracket. Let's see how that goes. Right here. What is that? Okay, let's see how that looks. Alright. Let's change this. Might be a bit fast. Let's change it to 5. Okay. Now I'm going to go to this background layer as well. The exposure again. Let's just copy this expression. Copy. Paste. Instead of 1, let's change it to 0.5. That should do the same thing. Now we have like this little curve thingy. See that? Alright. So now that we have that, we can start playing with this. Just name this CC curves. Alright, so that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you guys liked it and maybe learned something from it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. As always, I'm Sean Garris. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time.
Check this out.